My teaching philosophy is most easily summed up by a quote that is often attributed to Aristotle. He said, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." My outlook on teaching is closely tied with holistic pedagogies and developing critical learners. I want my students to be able to combine these areas to question all aspects of life, society, and the media, to not only look for the what, but also the why. This will be nurtured via activities and tasks set by me, the questions I will ask my students, as well as allowing my students to question me and my knowledge. The acknowledgement of other people's perspectives is extremely vital for holistic education and critical thinking. I will provide many opportunities for my students to share their own perspectives and past experiences, acknowledging that they carry valuable knowledge. However, it is also important to note that students may not feel comfortable sharing these perspectives and challenging the information that they are presented with. It is a skill that takes time to create after all. But through the way that I intend to interact with my students, I will nurture them and help them to grow, not only academically, but emotionally, socially, and culturally. This will be achieved by my active involvement in knowing and understanding my students' learning styles, interests, and emotions. By knowing these, it will allow me to be a good teacher as I am addressing the professional obligations of the APST, particularly Standard 1, and also allow me to be a role model for these students while I impart key values of a well-functioning society into my students. I aim to give my students the best education I can possibly provide. For my teaching philosophy, this means that I'm giving them skills that they can draw upon every day, and being able to discerningly analyze information is an important part of that. So too is their sense of culture. These correlate strongly with bell Hooks' philosophy of education, in particular her critical pedagogy, which values a social justice outlook on education and aims to create active participants out of the students, which means that they are actively involved in lessons and their communities. Her critical pedagogy focuses on identifying issues such as gender, class, and race, with resolutions possibly being found in classrooms through multiculturalism, gender balance, and language inclusion. These can easily be incorporated into the classroom via texts and case studies of historical or even current influential people from diverse backgrounds. I also believe that an activity such as the cultural backpack activity, in which students create a visual representation of their background, can lead to expression and celebration of others in the classroom. Bell Hooks says in Teaching to Transgress, 1994, "To teach in a manner that respects and cares for the souls of our students is essential if we are to provide the necessary conditions where learning can mostly, deeply, and intimately begin." This ties in closely with her concept of engaged pedagogy, which I intend to incorporate into my practice, as it asks not only the students, but also myself, to question whether we could improve ourselves and our well-being. Holistic education focuses on wholeness, and it attempts to avoid excluding any significant parts of a human experience. This means that there is focus on the whole student, not just their brains. This is also a key aspect of Nell Noddings' teaching philosophy, as she places emphasis on student welfare and the practice of caring. Care is also a vital part of the QCT Code of Ethics, along with respect and justice, which can be applied to both Bell Hooks and Nell Noddings' philosophies. Noddings creates a distinguish between caring for and caring about, the key difference being the ways in which it is received by the one being cared for, in this case, the students. Noddings states, "Those who care about others in the justice sense must keep in mind that the objective is to ensure that caring actually occurs. Caring about is empty if it does not culminate in caring relations." I will aim to always care about my students by ensuring I am understanding of their needs and attempting to meet them. These two philosophers have informed my own teaching philosophy, values, and some key aspects of social justice that I wish to impart upon my students, such as the creation of critical students who challenge mythical norms and stereotypes, the need for social transformation rather than reproduction in order to enable a culturally understanding, empathic, and well-educated society, the concept of equity over equality, and, as a primary agent of socialization, I understand the influence that I will be able to have on the next generation, and I will provide them with the best chance of success as possible. Because after all, that's a key reason for schooling, to provide the skills and values required for humane and decent society.